Wow, that is bright today. Hope you're doing well. Having a good Monday. Welcome on to the stream. As the title may suggest, my Night Tyrant proxy is finished being printing. Or at least it is until we get like halfway into building him and realize I'm missing a part, but that's a later problem. So we're going to be putting him together on stream today. So before we get started, make sure you've done the YouTube things, hit like, subscribe, notification bell, all the normal things. And I hope everyone's having a lovely beginning to their day. I kind of just want to jump in because I can't stream more than 2 hours. I can't keep going more than 2 hours tonight, and I want to get a good portion of this model done. So let's just get right into it. A couple notes. Shoot, I'm actually gonna do this because I forgot. I really should put a link to Gear Guts. And probably, let's see if we can do this specific model that I'm using. Forgot to do this, but I think it's under his. Oh shoot, Mega Walkers maybe. There's not, so it's gonna be under super heavies, isn't it? Yep. You know, given how much I am using his, how much I'm using his models, I should probably reach out to him and see if I can get a good landing link for the channel. Where is it? I know it's one of these. Yeah, it's that one. Is it really? No, it is? Yes, yes it is. So, sorry for the weird start, but I'm just going to very quickly throw that link. Again, I can't do like a clickable link because YouTube things, but at least it'll be there for from now going on. Alright, we're already on top down. So yeah, so this is that model, his not a model, which is one of his, I think one of his earlier models. And this is scaled up to 140% to be my Night Tyrant, and if anyone does the math themselves, yes, that's a little bit bigger than necessary to match the height on the Night Tyrant. I know that's intentional because this is going to be my war boss regardless of what else is on the table, even when I eventually have, oh, I don't know, an Orc Titan, or maybe a maybe the model that this cannon comes off of, which is his Night Porphyron proxy. This guy will always be the boss. He'll be my my double gun Night Tyrant. So this here, which is the model, which is absolutely massive, which is the model for the Night Porphyron's insane las cannon thing, whose name escapes me at this moment. We'll be proxying for the Volcano Lance on the Tyrant, and then the Gatling Claw, Gatling Blaster that comes with this file normally will be the Plasma Incinerator thingy-bob. And you know, this is definitely a case where I'm leaning into the goofier side of what this army can be. Going to an extreme for the sake of staying on theme. So I've not gotten the chance to fully clean up quite a few of these parts, so we're gonna be doing that first. This backpack portion just came off the printer, so he needs a complete cleanup, and then a few other pieces. I think almost all the pieces are gonna need at least one quick look over. So don't worry, we will actually be putting him together, and he will at least stand in sub-assembly by the end of the night. And given that his shoulders are ball joints, I'm gonna have to magnetize him because I'm not permanently gluing in these big old cannons that are just gonna get caught on something the second they shift in a box and break. So yeah, we'll see if we break out the magnets and start playing with magnets tonight, or if that's a later thing. And don't worry, we will get back to painting some Space Marines. We'll probably paint some Space Marines tomorrow night. But for the time being, this print got finished, so I thought it'd be a fun way to start the week. Start the week with some wacky stuff. If memory serves, there's at least one spot we're gonna have to break the milliput out for, so that'll be some fun, different content. Just because I know there's at least 2 surfaces that didn't print super well and could use with a little bit of filling. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah. Oh, just cleaning up this big old print. And I grabbed this one because it's not in the box, and also because I knew I hadn't gone through it with an X-Acto knife into all the crevices and whatnot to get out just the last of the support material. And I knew it would take a bit, so I figured it's a good spot, because like this whole mess here of these cables all has support material up in it, so that's gonna be just not fun. The bottom here is pretty clean though, all in all. Okay. Let's see. you can hear that whistle, I'm so sorry. My landlord decided to turn on my radiators, and I can't do anything about it right now. So every now and then I just get that little bit of squeak going. Hopefully that won't be a problem past tonight, but it is incredibly cold right now, so my little plug-in space heater was just barely keeping up, but it's probably time to turn on the big boy. Keep moving away from this absolute mess right here. It is kind of gross, if I'm being honest. A lot of it's being real stubborn. I think I need something not sharp. Where's my little pick? Let's try this. A little bit sturdier that I can pry with. That was a big shift. Get out of there. Something stuck in there that's wanting to rattle around. Anyway, starting to get this guy cleaned up. Though this is incredibly frustrating, so I'm probably going to bounce back and forth between working on this section here and working on easier sections of other bits. The nice thing about that is I can even mount this on the shoulder and leave that to clean up at another time. But let's make some good visible progress. Let's get this back section, which, by the way, this guy is large, like incredibly large. Ridiculous. Why are you digging? Stop digging. Hopefully this will stop dinging when people text me. Sorry about that, chat. Incredibly unprofessional of me. Oh no, how terrible. There we go. Oh, look at that big piece. I kind of hate that half the reason for all the support material on the outside of these pieces is because of all the rivets. Like, they look so good. They add so much to the texture and will do a lot for my with my paint style to add a lot of dimension, but there's so much extra stuff to clean up. Yeah. Should have come up with some talking points for this Monday evening, but I didn't. I was just too excited to build this this knight. Ugh, this stompa, this gargant, whatever you want to call it. Well, that just went flying. Sorry if that's loud. There it goes. There it goes, starting to peel up. On this edge. There we go. Come on. Whew. That was a big release. I feel like a chiropractor. Oh. Plastic chiropractor. Pop, 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 crack, crack, crack. Ah, that looks better. Little wonkiness right there on this print. I don't think it's bad though. Hello. I hope you're cooking something delicious. We'll come up with something entertaining to say, I'm sure. Yes, I did indeed notice that that is yet another YouTube account. I cannot talk. I think technically I have like 4 wedding soup. Oh, delicious. Be a good day for soup. So yes, you did indeed have the honor of naming this model before it was even remotely printed. Well, it was about half printed. He will finally stand on some feet. Though he probably won't have arms. He's not permanently attached by the end of the night. I don't think I'll ever permanently attach his arms. This is proving to be a little tricky to clean up. So everything's holding on a little extra hard. Probably need to get the heat gun involved for some of this stuff to help it release a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to pull out the milliput for some of these sections. There's a couple overhangs here that did not print all that well. This is indeed your buddy. The as of yet not publicly named orc genius. The philosopher. We could play around with him having a title of something of the philosopher, because that would be very apt for his name. Though, we'd have to come up with some orky philosophies for him to preach about. Something along the lines of, sometimes it's okay for some of your gits to get crumped. Because if some of the boys get crumped, then it meant there was good crumping to be had. And what's a couple boys in the grand scheme of things? Philorc Sophies. Maybe. Jeez, some of this support materials were really freaking fused onto here. What is your problem? I don't think I changed my settings. This model. So I know I did it because I had it batched up with a bunch of print plates. None of them turned out this rough. There's a very slight chance I might need to reprint this part. Slightly friendlier print angle that's going to take a lot more plastic, but I think it would be worth it. Because like all of these smokestacks aren't going to clean up all that well without a lot of work. Let me see. But the thing is, this was, the suggested print orientation. Clean off the desk. So maybe I'm just being lazy a little too early because I want to show something exciting on stream. but there's a distinct recessed portion of this that I'm not, because that's not gonna bridge very well. Oh, you know what it was? Is this print got started right when the temperature here dropped. So I bet a good, and by dropped I mean like went down to like 8 degrees outside, and so at one point I think it was 40 degrees Fahrenheit in my apartment. So even though I have an enclosure, the enclosure's not set to heat itself, printing PLA, and I bet that's why all these, one of the reasons why these bridges look so rough. Be a real bummer. Because if I just take this and throw him at an angle, or when there are bad print artifacts, we're not going to notice them as much. Let's see what the numbers of that look like. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. There's a very obvious bit of orc philosophy that we could attest to this guy, and I think once we at least see what his silhouette's gonna look like, I think we'll know exactly what his interpretation of it is. But it's, you know, one of the oldest questions that have always troubled the orcoid race, and that is, can you ever have enough DACA? Or how much DACA is enough? Can you have too much DACA? I think our mech boss here would certainly agree that all of the DACA is enough DACA, and you can never have enough DACA. And there is no such thing as too much DACA. Does anyone else kind of miss the like 8th? Like, I never played Orcs in 8th edition, but the old 8th edition DACA rules, where it's like the original sustained hits. I haven't looked at the Orcs. I haven't looked into the actual Orcs index at all. I wonder just how common sustained hits are for them, because I feel like they should be pretty prevalent. You know, because just you get a little excited. You squeeze the trigger one too many times. See, and then that comes off so nice and clean. I do think it's really funny. I've looked at this model in its entirety several times now, and literally just before I sat down was the first time I realized that this model has just a door with a landing on the back of it that, you know, is going to stand the equivalent of about 20 or 30 feet in the air. You know, here's our guardsman for size. Like, it's actually a full-size door. Just a door on the back. Okay. We're gonna hit pause on this, and we're at least gonna get the guy standing, and we're gonna reevaluate his backpack in a second. So we have a torso, and we have 2 feet. And before this, I do want to grab, this is my current other full-size knight. I'll just pop him off this base, because I do have his base, his forever base printing right now. So we're gonna use this. But I should actually double check that this is the right size base for a Knight Tyrant. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Deep Chaos Knights. Go away, ad. Data sheets. Knight Tyrant. Yep, that's the right size base. Wait. I guess we'll see. That's the right size base. So this guy can go off to the side. He'll stand on his own. But I'm not going to glue this guy in at all. But for reference, let's see. Oh yeah, he doesn't fit. So when I play this guy, I need to. Oh, he's so big. He's such a big boy. That makes me way too happy. He's just so large. Oh yep. And this is exactly why I'm building this army, is because it makes me just giggle. It's so stupid. Why did I make him so big? Oh no. Oh jeez. And it's like, it's not just that he's tall, because he's not all that tall, but he's girthy. He's a big boy. This is where. Because let's be honest, half the lore I'm going to write about this army is just going to be about this character. Because it's orcs. You know, every time he, you know, shoves a boy into this thing, he probably gets himself killed, because this thing just goes forward and crumps. So, you know, it's like he's got all these, what is he, evil sons? The cult of speed dudes. You know, the rest of the actual pilots of his mechs are probably interchangeable, but this guy's gonna get stories written about him. Hold on, 1 second. One of my best friends is sending me TikToks. I should just tell him to come hop in chat. Freaking spamming me out on TikToks. The ridiculousness. So, again, just doing some detail cleanup, getting the last bits of support fuzzies out of this guy. Oh, it's got a little chunk right there. Come on, get off there. You don't belong there. There you go. Don't know why that coat has a bit of a recess on it, but I'm not gonna be able to tell. Alright, so now we take our heat gun and we apologize for the noise. clear that up a little bit. 1 foot, 2 foots. Some cat hair. Of course. Oh no. I just figured it out. Alright, I gotta update this guy's lore page because I just figured out what he's known as. Where is it? Army's lore. Orc Knight's lore. Duh. Philosopher. We should spell philosopher with an F. Of course. And then a PH in the middle, because that makes more sense. There we go. Yep. That is indeed this dude's name. Fully. He is indeed the philosopher of Dodaka. Man, I really need to get, because it's kind of, it's a little bit of a bummer that like everyone at my local shop really just wants to play 2,000 point games. Well, I guess I could just get one more War Dog paint. Well, actually, I have to look at exactly what I could run as a 1,500 point list. But I think the first, at least the next game I play with this army, I'm gonna need the boss to be on the battlefield. And taking a tyrant in a 1,000 point game is ridiculous, because then you get a war dog or a Waugh dog in my position. This is just not a real thing. This is not a real list. 3 models, even at 1,000 points. Not great. I didn't realize until recently. I was looking into some more people's theory crafting on Chaos Knights. There is a war dog that that is a character data sheet, so you can just run war dogs in Chaos Knights. Didn't realize that. I would never want to, because I don't know why you would ever want to run it without at least one big knight. But I know a lot of the really competitive lists run almost nothing but armature. War dogs. There it is. Models. Quite a bit of interference layer still right here. We're just trying to clean off. Yes, it's on a bottom surface of the bottom of the model where I'm not going to have anyone's attention drawn. It's going to bother me if I don't at least clean it up a little bit. Oh geez, there's a whole chunk of support material right there. There we go. Get out of there. Oh my gosh. Completely missed that. That's embarrassing. That's support material. It is. Yeah, it is. Just put that little lip right there. I'd like to have that gap open. There we go. I want to play with this. Okay, I currently have Philosopher spelled Philosopher. And I think it's funnier if we go... Sorry, this is just where my brain went. Filo. We'll do... A... Philo... Or no, Philosaphizer. Philosophizer. The Philosophizer of Dodaka. I like it. I like it. It seems proper orky. Cause like we ate for him to get bullied. Philosophizer. Well, okay, you might not realize this. Everything orc has to be said with a Cockney, with like a heavy Cockney accent. So, yeah. I don't think long O is the right move there. Again, gotta be proper orky. We can't have him getting bullied, you know, in the big Waugh Council, because his name sounds too much like a puny little Yumi. Figured it out. There was only ever one good Yumi. It was old Balai, and he went and got himself killed. Fool pun. Fool. Oh, actually, no, that's pretty good. If we didn't know he was already one of the smartest boys in all to everything, that would be a little more fitting. But he is one of the smartest boys in all the everything, so. Little stuck piece right there. Boop. Get out of there. Come on. There you go. Get out. Oh my god. Get off the model. You tiny little piece of support. There we go. Wow, I missed so many tiny little pieces of support material on this leg. But this is why you double check. Alright, feets. Feet are clean. Torso, yeah. Okay. Let's go. These chains look so cool, but ugh, amount of support material my slicer put on them. I like to trust my slicer because it gives me good prints, but sheesh. This was a pain. This has been a pain to clean up. I don't know why, but Bamboo Labs tree supports, which used to be my default, are so much harder to remove than standard supports. And the settings I use for between the two are almost identical, so it shouldn't be that big of a difference, but it is. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's the way the world goes around, I guess. That's the way that the world goes round. You're up someday, next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. And that's the way that the world goes round. That is an underrated song. If anyone doesn't know that song, they should pop over to something. Spotify. Just open another tab in YouTube. Give that song a listen. It's a good song. Definitely a bop from a past generation. Oh my gosh, wow. The musical ADHD is real right now. Because I just jumped from American folk music to Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. Quite a bit of whiplash on that one. I'm usually not that bad, but jeez. Is there any musical similarities between those two? I don't think so. Just be a weird brain thing. The brain deciding that's the next thing it wanted to think about. Hey, Chlorophyll Man, you're here. What's up? How you doing? We are. We established this on the previous stream. That is now your name in this chat. But no, seriously, how are you doing today? Hey, how are you doing? All right, so you've got a wrestlers. You gotta give me the phonetics on how to say your name right, because you're becoming a regular on my streams. And it's just off enough. I feel like I'm gonna say it wrong. Grass. Okay, see, now I just can't trust you. Because I can see how that could be real or be a trap. Anyway, hope y'all are having a lovely Monday. We are at least starting to put together my Waugh Boss, my Mech Boss for my Knight's Army, which will be my Knight Tyrant proxy, who has been... Well, that's what I'm saying, and you've tried to trap me in the past. So, I'll figure it out one of these days. Yeah, we're putting together our man here, who will... Wow, the whole regular squad is here. All 4 of my regular viewers. This is absolutely lovely. So, while y'all are here, because y'all are my consistent ones I can rely on. You better be subscribed. Make sure you like the stream. Better be subscribed. Make sure you like the stream. And make sure you do our little merch drop when. Merch drop when. YouTube will let me put links to merch on my videos. So share my stuff, get my watch hours up. And then I have some ideas for merch. I have some designs I'm starting to work on for some merch. Let me know what y'all would want for merch. You know, t-shirts are great. Love doing t-shirts. I can do stuff like I've done before. It's just like logo stuff with the things, but I've got some ideas for some funnier, some more comical Warhammer themed stuff. Gloves would be badass. Okay, I'll see if the production partner I used can do gloves. I'll look into that. Yeah. We'll obviously do a bunch of stuff with my logo. Shout out to my brother who made me that logo like 4 years ago now. He actually made me that logo. No, he made me that logo 5 years ago. He made that he made that for me before I even started the channel. Wow. And it still looks absolutely banging. Pocket protectors. If I do pocket protectors, they need to have like paintbrush slots in them. Because so much of my content, almost all my new content right now is like hobby desk stuff. By the way, if you can hear the slight whistling, it's probably competing with my printer for background noise. My radiators got turned on by my landlord today, so I'm having to deal with that today because I haven't had time to go through and turn off the one for this room. So I'd much rather have the more consistent, well, heat and set noise of a space heater. But no, so I've got some ideas for some stuff that's kind of hobby space oriented. A handful of mugs that would be great for both paint water and not paint water. Depending on how the paint job comes out on this guy, this model, who is probably going to end up being one of the channel mascots, ironically, he might end up on some merch. So yeah, you know, ideas in chat here are great. Ideas in the comments. I do. Almost poked myself bad. I do read all my comments and stuff, because why wouldn't I? I try to respond to everyone that at least deems a response. Some of them are just, you know, the internet being the internet. And there's no point in responding to that absolute absurdity. So yeah, 7 concurrent viewers I'm showing. Wow, that is I think dangerously close to a channel record. Thank you all. Make sure you're all subscribed, liked. If you're on a desktop, since y'all are asking about merch, I'll point this out to you all. If y'all want merch, the way you all are going to get a merch drop soonest is by doing this little thing that helps the channel more than anything. And you go here, keep this stream going, keep talking to me and chat on this stream, of course. But you go here, in another tab, or on your computer, something else, something you don't care about, something you're not paying attention to right now. And you go down here and you scroll down to my Workbench Streams playlist, and you hit it, and it'll pull up Stream 3. I don't know why Stream 3 is on here first and Stream 1's on here second. And you go here, and you hit mute, and you go to Settings, Playback Speed, 0.25, and then you leave it there. You just let it be. If you want a merch drop, that's the fastest way to help me get you all a merch drop. So get after it. Still got 2 hours to break the record. So the thing is, technically we have an hour to break the record because I have other stuff I have to do tonight that is not streaming, and I am trying to stream. I am starting my streams this week an hour earlier than last week just to see what happens. This is only my second week back being active on the channel, so I'm still sorting some stuff out. We can I don't doubt you all. I know, how dare I have a real life? How dare I have a day job to contend with? How dare I, need to meal prep for the rest of my week? Can be you playing Skyblock? Hey, I mean, I am flattered if I am your background noise to playing Skyblock. This is take that as quite the honor, to be someone's preferred background noise. It's me just rambling and poking at a big chunk of PLA. No prep ramen takes 2 minutes. Well, see, it's complicated. Long story short, your boy needs protein. And ramen does not. As a calisthenics man. Yeah, no. I think the plan for this week is to do some high protein burritos that are quickly nukeable. Because I didn't. It's not secured yet. It's fine. Yeah. Protein. I need protein. High protein, carbs, and all. If you baller Cheez-Its are. Are Cheez-Its really considered high protein? Is that a thing? Because if so, I need to get some Cheez-Its. Because I would sit here on stream and snack on Cheez-Its the entire time. But I have a feeling they're not actually that protein forward. The extra toasty ones are really good. I am kind of sad that the pepper jack ones aren't sold anymore because those were the best. Just a little bit of spicy, a little bit more full cheese flavor. The pepper jack Cheez-Its were my absolute favorite. The extra toasty ones are good. Though I think if we're talking just as a cheese crunch-based snack, we cannot sleep upon the absolute glory that is the flavor blasted goldfish. There is nothing as artificially cheesy goodness as flavor blasted goldfish. I actually will be taking questions. Well, yes, normal goldfish don't actually have that much cheese on them, which is a damn shame. Yeah. Yeah, if a box has 36 grams of protein, what's the calorie to protein breakdown on a box of Cheez-Its? I am 100% gonna find a way to make this conversation into a short. It might take me a long time to edit together. But I need this to jump on people's feeds with no context. Oh, that would make me so happy. As a gremlin of chaos who doesn't actually play a chaos army. Ugh, and who is currently super gluing a base to his cutting mat. Accidentally. Look at him! Look at how tall he is! That's... I mean, I've seen worse protein to calorie. It's not good. It's not great. I think my trusty, yeah, here you go. Trail mix is quite a bit better than, oh, well, okay, this is custom blend. How do I burn calories a day? Tell me about it. I burn something around 3,500 calories on a light day. I can get up to 4,000 calories on a day. I weigh 160 pounds. Shit gets weird. Yeah, trail mix is wonderful, and Ellie, I know you don't agree. As you said the other day, it's just more for me. Yeah. No. Being a part of the correlation between your calorie burn and your weight. I don't know you, but I assume you're a thinner individual. You just have a higher metabolism. Your body burns through more calories and more nutrients in a day. That's how mine is. I am 6'1". I've always been scrawny. It's part of the cards we've been dealt, and people complain about, and people love to hate the fact that I complain about having to eat so much, because everyone's like, well, I want to eat. It's like, you don't want to have to eat 4,000 calories a day. Again, photosynthesis man, you get me to that membership program ability thing. There will indeed be a Discord. There's a couple things already in the works for members of the channel when that becomes a thing. And one of my plans is to have, like, you know, if YouTube will let me do a 50-cent tier, there'll be a 50-cent tier, and that'll get you access to the Discord. And then we'll do other fun things. But dude, that's a pretty good build. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very good and healthy. Obviously, again, I don't know you in person. I can't speak to everything. If you listen to your body well, if you take care of yourself, you don't always have to monitor your diet, all that, closely. Hold on. Give me 1 second, chat. That was incredibly random. My roommate just wanted to know if she could use my rice cooker. Very poignant to our conversations, I guess, but yeah. I'm sorry, you were not. You know what, chat? You have fun. I am all for us having a 6'3" 4-year-old in chat. I am, or at least someone who was a 6'3" 4-year-old in chat. That is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, you want more things in and around the channel? Help me out. Do our little scheme, getting my watch time up. Share, honestly, like right now, send the link to the stream to a friend of yours who's in your gaming group. Share me with your local orc player, or Custodes player, or all 20 Space Marine players. How much more watch times you got? That is a number that, because I'm not in that membership program, it doesn't get updated consistently. So I think the last time it updated was a couple days ago, and I needed a good chunk more. So just keep doing that. On it again, share my content, whatever it is. Yes, us doing cheeky things during stream, having it run in the background, this is incredibly helpful. But I do need to just reach more people. That is indeed the solution to all of these issues. So again, if you have gaming groups, or just that one friend who might be interested in Warhammer, might be interested in this kind of content, just drop them a link. Because genuinely, I would love to be able to start up a Discord. I would love to be able to commit more time to doing stuff for the channel, because I enjoy it so much more than waiting tables. Infinitely more than waiting tables. But, someone's got to pay the power bill when my landlord turns on my frickin' radiator without telling me. And, so yeah, thank you all so much for when you do watch my streams. I do not want to turn this stream into me just begging for charity. That's not what I'm about. I want to be here as someone who enjoys hobbying, whatever it may be. So, yeah. Thank you so much for everyone who does watch my streams, and everyone who watches my shorts and my VODs and all the things. But to a previous point, it would be fun to try to beat the channel record for most viewers on a stream this week. And it's not a good record. I think we need to get 12 people. I think the most I ever had on a single stream was 12 people. So I think it's very doable. Sometime this week. Again, the schedule's up on my community tab. It's tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night at 6. So yeah, tell your friends. We're trying to break some channel records this week. Last week was about quantity. So this week we're trying to get some quality back. Because all my shorts up to this point, I used an AI editor just to try, and they were okay, but the optics on them weren't great. The actual visuals on them weren't all that great. So I'm trying something that's a tool to help me edit quicker. And so I'm not gonna I am not gonna have all the options in the world as when it comes to exactly what gets shown on screen, but it's really quick. So we'll see how they turn out. Very orky, very lopsided, very asymmetrical. We like it. I think I'm trying to start thinking about posing. Probably gonna pose him up this way on this shoulder. Like this. Oh jeez. That's a little ridiculous. This guy's not gonna be able to hide behind anything. He's gonna knock over every bit of terrain on any table he walks onto. I think we can pretty comfortably commit to something like that. Like his right arm. Which means I kind of... his left arm, which is going to be the Gatling blaster, so I guess I should put this cannon together so we can have that as a point of reference. He also gets one of these in his shoulder. Again, if this guy's gonna be the prophet, or not the prophet, the philosopher of Daka, he's gotta have all the guns. All the guns. I mean, at least the biggest guns, let's be honest. Have one in his shoulder, he's got the double on top, he's gonna have this monstrosity. Now, I have not built a Dominus Pattern Knight, but I think, just maybe, these weapons are a bit oversized. Just possibly. These big old heat baffles that are just absolutely full of support material. Trying to clean all these up. Sorry, chat. I know I've gone quiet. I am desperately trying not to cut my fingers. Because this is the kind of operation where I could totally slip and cut my finger open quite badly, and then I have to deal with that. And, well, if I'm gonna get any kind of demonetization strike from YouTube, I want it to be for something worthwhile, not for just a little scratch. Oh, here's an idea. So I don't have specific content planned out for the week. I was kind of just gonna see what hobby grabbed my attention. And right now it's kind of looking like painting a dreadnought. But if the balance data slate drops on Thursday, do y'all want to go through it on stream? I will not be the first person to cover it. I will not be the last person to cover it. But we could do that. That is indeed something we could do. For anyone who is not a avid 40k player, about once every 3 months, GW will drop a balance reference for whatever the current edition of Warhammer it is, and we were promised one in January. But then this past weekend was LVO, the Las Vegas Open, which I think was officially the largest Warhammer event in history. They had something like 400 players for their tournament, which is absolutely insane to think about. Sorry, my nose is itching. LVO was this weekend, 400 players, absolutely insane, massive event. And I think it was last year or the year before, GW dropped the balanced data slate like a week before the event. And so, I think it's Frontline Gaming, FLG, who runs the event, had to as an independent entity, had to go and declare that data slate wasn't valid, that rules change wasn't valid for their event, because of how many people had already submitted their lists, how many people had already, because I think it was a pretty big change too. I don't think it was just points changes. I think there was some rules changes in there too, that completely changed the way a couple factions played. I can't remember exactly what all it was. I don't think that was the Armor of Contempt balance pass. Might have been. I don't know. Um, so this year it was, we weren't given a specific date because GW never gives us a specific date because GW doesn't love us the way we love them. Tragic. And so everyone's assumption was, oh, well, it will be after LVO. Because when they published it right before LVO, it was a PR nightmare last time. So it should be this Thursday. Or, 40K Heresy stuff usually drops on Thursdays. If this is interesting, if this is a way y'all would want us to spend our stream time, we absolutely can. Just going through it, and what I would probably do is go through my 3 armies. So go through Custodes and Space Marines and Chaos Knights, and just see how they changed. And then if we still had time, we could, go to chat, and, I'm sure someone, can't imagine who would, but someone in chat would request us to look at some Tau. Which, by the way, new crew models, absolutely baller. They look so good. No, I'm not gonna start a Tau army, though. Honestly, if I was, I would need them to do a lot more of the, like, auxiliaries. The allied auxiliaries stuff that the Tau has, because this is what makes Tau interesting. This is the one thing. Yes, I did have to play it like this. Because I'm also about to talk crap about your army, my guy. I am not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. The most interesting part about your faction, besides Farsight's a G, and my local store just got like 6 copies of him for some ungodly reason. Besides Farsight and the fact that he might end up falling to Chaos, which would be very, very interesting and be very important to the setting. The fact that they are like the one major faction. Okay, but Chaos doesn't count. Like they're the one species who genuinely want to do things diplomatically and inclusively is what's interesting. So, yeah, you want me to be more interested in Tau? Give me more Kroot, give me more Vespids, give me like all the non, blue cow people races. Like, sure, have your core Tau, your blue cow people who are way too obsessed with fish. Yeah, sure, still make them the core of the army. But like, give me like 3 or 4 other alien species I can run with them. And like, you don't have to do the old thing where you used to be able to ally every faction together. This got super messy, and I mean, honestly, if you're playing a just for fun game, I don't care. I don't care if there's rules or not. Do it anyway. It's fun. Like, eventually, I want to run like basically a combat patrol of Custodes, and then like 1,500 points of guard. I want to play like a 2,500 point game where I have 1,000 points of Custodes and 1,500 points of guard. This would be such a fun mishmash army to play. I would love to someday bring some of my Orc Knights and supplement them in as the Chaos Knight. As Chaos Knights, not as Stompas, not as Gorkanauts, but as the Knights in an Orcs list. Like, this would be so much fun. Friendly pickup game with just friends at a gaming store, sure, whatever. Competitively, don't do that. That gets so messy so quick. But that's the kind of feel I think Tau should have. You know, give me my front line of Kroot, you know, scouting out the enemy lines and laying an ambush. And then give me my line of battle suits, mech suits, whatever they're called. You know, standing 3 miles off the way good Tau should, and you know, blasting them down with massive high tech, well, not high tech, but like efficient tech. I think that's the best description. Efficient tech weapons, and then give me some, what are they, the Vespids, the bug guys. Give me some of them skirmishing around. You know, this is what makes Tau interesting, to me at least. It's not the for the greater good, I am holier than thou, but oops, it's all hormone mind control, which is just such a weird narrative for GW to go with, but you know, whatever. Like, sure, you can have that. That's great. But what makes them unique is the fact that they've got a bunch of species and a bunch of different cultures wrapped up in them. Because then otherwise you just have a young mirror to the Imperium. That's all you have. You know, gun line with cheap chaff infantry, a couple half-decent skirmishing units, and no melee. Congratulations, you're playing Imperial Guard in a different font. Add in the Kroot, add in the Vespids, which I hope they're doing new Vespids. I think that's what they're called, the Vespids. I hope they give them new models too. You know, again, as cool as the battle suits are, as awesome as they look, I think Tau can be a soup army. I don't think many armies should be soup armies, but I think Tau can be a soup army. I'm immune to the banter now. And that's all it really is banter. I don't care what you play. If you enjoy what you play, let's have a game. Let's play. This is simply my opinions on the factions, and genuinely, in my own opinion, I'm an Imperium player. I have very little leg to stand on. Shall take the pride and the honor of the Tau to my grave. And you know, I appreciate that for you. Will I someday have a Bane sword that will just blow you off the table? Absolutely. You know, does my unending horde of worthless human life really all that better, like, narratively? Just different. And to be fully honest, when I started collecting Warhammer, it took me a lot longer to start than I had initially thought, because it took me forever to find an army I like one army to collect, which obviously lasted so well, because now, you know, 2 years into, this being my primary hobby, I have 3, and only one of them is 2,000. No. I put together a Space Marines list that was barely 2,000 points. I think it was all of my Space Marines, except the captain. But this is like 3 lieutenants, a combi weapon lieutenant, 10 Terminators, 2 Dreadnoughts. This was a slightly ridiculous list. It was like everything I had was 2,000 points. But I was very unsure about what army I wanted to collect, and kind of telling myself I could only collect one. And there was probably at least a couple days I considered basically every single one. Because they're all fun in their own way, and that's one of the things that makes Warhammer so much fun. Is like, because so much of it is so well fleshed out to such a ridiculous extent. And there is that narrative to draw you in and to give you something to enjoy about your little army men. Where's my trash can? Because at the end of the day, they're just silly little models that we play a silly little game with. And they're just little guys. Okay. Alright, so we're talking about posing. This right arm, well, that cannon cures up. This right arm is a little limited, and it's basically gonna go like this. Yeah. Which I'm not gonna glue this on because the cannon needs quite a bit more cleanup, and I'm going to need to magnetize the shoulder joint. So we could put him across, but I think squaring this cannon up a little bit is probably a good idea. Jesus Christ. This cannon is longer than he is tall. This cannon is longer than he is tall. Why? I mean, I know why this is the what I decided to do. Because this model from Gear Guts comes with this cannon and a claw. And I had gotten the Porphyrion model. I don't remember why. I don't remember I think, oh no, because my original intention was to use the Porphyrion model as my Tyrant. And then I threw it in my Slicer and realized just how big it was and was like, oh, that's not gonna work. That is absolutely ridiculous. This is only slightly ridiculous. But I think I might have left this cannon at 100% scale, and this shoulder might just be down to like 90% scale, so it fits and transitions a little better. And like, this was all intentional because big gun, more dagger. but this is a little silly. So maybe this needs to be pointed up a little bit just to decrease his footprint a little. Well, okay, wait. It actually doesn't matter because we're gonna find a way to magnetize the shoulder joint. And so there, he might be able to do this and kind of cock it up. But I think because this one is so absolutely absurd. Oh my gosh, chat, what did I do? This model is insane. This model is so stupid. Most of our posing is going to be done with this cannon above his head, and this arm. This gun is as tall as he is. What? Oh my gosh. Why is he so big? What did I do? Why? Why did I do this? Because it's making me laugh this hard. This is why I did this. This is so silly. Oh my god. Oh. Don't know. Okay, so we have a wrist joint here that's just a slot joint. And we have rotation through here. I don't think we... Jesus Christ. Whoever the hell that is. God Emperor. Oh my Emperor, what am I supposed to do with this? It's too big. Yes, hottie ha, that's what she said. How do I pose this? How do I pose this effectively? Do I push it out? Maybe, but then this gun looks silly. Do I just let it... Okay, reference images. Okay. We pulled this up. Okay, so in the renders that Gear Guts has, it's sitting pretty square. It's sitting pretty square to his... like, pretty right angles. I'm going to Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following my Instagram, link in the description. Gear Guts Mech Shop. Let's see if he's got more reference images for this model, because I need some inspiration. Because I'm not quite sure what to do. This is such a lovely problem to have, but like, what do I do? Chat, what do I do? Huh. I can't find this. It's just gonna be his renders anyway. Yeah, no, he reposts people's paint jobs and whatnot. Which, I should probably send him some stuff to do, but... Nope, that model's not there. That's a good model. I know this is one of his older ones. So... I might just have to be SOL on more reference images for this particular model. I don't think there's anything wrong with hanging it pretty square, like pretty, yeah, pretty square, pretty right angles to it, and letting the shoulder kind of hang the way it wants to. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. It just comes down to, okay, if we have his gun's pretty square, to give him a little more attitude, we need to be able to pose his face better, or at least pose his face well. Well, I mean, okay, he does have a posable jaw, so we do have some more option there. Let's just keep playing with this. Let's see. Because if we just kind of go everything almost the way it's intended. It's not bad. I'd like a little bit more action. So we might lean him, push it forward just a bit. Yeah, let's do that. Let's plan there. So, one joint at a time. The sad thing is I might genuinely run out of super glue tonight. I think I have this and one more pipe of it. I try to not be stingy when it comes to putting my models together because I don't want them to fall apart. I think that's good. That feels a lot more active. That's kind of what I'm going for. Do that. Do this. And what I really might do is leave these two little swing turrets unglued. Because they sit in there perfectly tight. And if we're being quite honest, you know there's grots in there targeting those things, so they're gonna kind of swing around crazily. So this one and the two here, there's just this little sensor turret right there. I've got to decide on where it looks. Jesus, yo, this arm. I'm trying to like find better ways to articulate the girth of this guy. Like, okay, here, look. Almost twice as tall as this huntsman or stalker, depending on the day, depending on what the points costs end up being. Not that I think the stalker or I don't know. I think I'm not gonna speculate on balance slate things tonight because well, I'm hopeful my Custodes will get a little bit of a buff, even though I've been doing pretty well with them. But I think I'm one of two Custodes players in my area, so I think a good portion of that is just my opponents not really knowing just exactly how to deal with them, and I mean a lot of my opponents just not being ones to, you know, shirk away from some melee fight because I've been playing. Oh, I just hit everything. I've been playing some pretty melee forward armies recently. So that's been fun. Nice counterplay there. But you know, Tau or Eldar could just, if played right, could just blast my Custodes off the table. And I couldn't do much about it. Oh my gosh, that's so heavy. Oh, I might have to actually glue these arms in after I paint them. I am absolutely painting this guy in sub-assemblies. We'll spend a day on his torso and legs. We'll spend a day on each arm. We might spend 2 days on his torso and legs. Okay, so we've got this. We have this. This is what we're working with right here. This is pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. It looks good. I keep seeing extra little bits of support material to peel off everywhere. And I'm trying to get them. Oh, and now I super glued my fingers together because not all that was. Not all that was cured. Oh well. Okay. We're gonna set you to the side for a second, right there, and you're gonna cure. Face. We have face, and we have a little sensor doodad. So again, if we leave this guy up to, because that's pretty tight, that's not gonna just fall out. And it gives us some flexibility as we go. I might even leave it, well no, I'll pull it out and I'll at least prime it out. But I might paint it, more in place. But like the obvious answer is to have it like cranked off to one side, right? And then have this guy look in the same way as it, and then have him look the other way. This gives us cross plays. The other option is to have everything looking in the same direction, which I think is also a good. It is an option. The other question is, how slack do we want his jaw? Because we could pose his head pretty open jawed, pretty close. Okay, hold on. We're gonna switch cameras so y'all can see this face. Yeah. All right. We have the lad. We have his face. Can sit right in there. He has this jaw. And now we could have him all tight jawed, all closed up and stuff. We could have him a bit more slack jawed. I'm not sure which one I like better. I think there's a happy medium here somewhere. I think we can find a something like this. A nice medium. You know? That's possible. Okay. I know I've cleaned his face up. I'm gonna hit him. This. Get rid of any extra wispies on any overhangs. His jaw should be fine. Just a little. Just a little section. Spot right there. Yep, that came right off. Very nice, very nice. Here? Thinking we get his jaw in place, and then again I'm gonna paint his head separately. The sub-assemblies are smart on extremely large models in particular. And not only is this guy an extremely large model, he's also the centerpiece model, so I want him to look very nice. So, let's get this going. Yeah, that looks good. I think that's got a nice bit of attitude to it. It'll give some nice depth. Not that much, not that far in. Just a little. Yeah, there we go. It'll give some nice depth to his face, which is always a good thing. This is something I've really been appreciating about Gear Guts' models, is they aren't an insane amount of pieces, but they are incredibly detailed and incredibly posable. And on top of that, especially if you're able to do some scaling, a lot of the parts from his different file sets are perfectly interchangeable. So can consider this my unpaid ad of the stream. I put a link to this model in the description at the beginning of the stream. Go check that out. I again should reach out to him and see if I can get just, you know, a more official link for me to use, because I'll say good stuff about his models all day long. I'm really loving them. I'm really liking them. They look great. They're very, very fun proxies. I know something to keep in mind. I mean, this isn't extreme because I did this, but looking at some of his like infantry models, they're a little bigger than the GW models they proxy for. I mean, if you've watched any of the stuff with him on like miniwargaming.com, I know he's done a couple spots on that channel. His whole shtick is like, oh, orcs get bigger and meaner and more imposing when they win, when they're having a good time, when they're like being successful. And GW, and his interpretation is that GW gives us like medium orcs for the most part that could be having a good time, could be having a very bad time. These are like the average. And his interpretation is, I want to give, he calls them his bruisers. They're not orcs, they're bruisers. That are like, what if they won a lot? What if they're really succeeding? And so they're these wonderful big models with great character and great posability. I mean, this one wheel guy is currently my favorite. I'm so excited to paint him up. This is not the way any of the reference photos have him posed, but I thought it was absolutely too funny not to have him like zooming along. This model is amazing. These scout walkers that I've painted, one of which on a previous stream, just look so good. This model is going to be the poster boy for this army until one of the bigger knights comes out looking better, because the other one, the one I painted on stream, didn't come out looking quite as good. I mean, he still looks good, but he doesn't look quite as crisp as this guy does, which is saying something, because like this was the first model I did in this style. So love those models. And my this model, my despoiler model, is just so much fun. This is your Tau influence with your backpack cannon, and just great models. And this guy, which again is one of his older sculpts, is still really good. And I picked it up because he looked chunky and he felt heavy. And obviously he's big. He's a big boy. He's gonna take up a lot of space on the table. Oh my god, chat, what's wrong with me? This guy's almost 50% bigger than he should be. Wait, no, that's not how the math works. He is scaled up. He is quite a bit larger than he should be. And he'll be, jeez, that much fatter out the back. He takes up so much space. Oh no. Chat, is this a problem? Is this too much? Is this too far? The answer is no. There is no such thing as too much or too far. It's orcs. We're just in it for a good time. This is silly. This is a little silly though. This is quite a bit silly. Okay, it's almost 8. I need to start winding now. I might reprint this piece. I can just tell up here at the smokestacks, in particular on these, they didn't bridge well, and then here on this little recessed portion that didn't bridge well, the support material's not coming off well. This piece this backpack piece I might have to reprint. thanks to my settings, this is less than 1,000 grams of filament, so it's not that big of a loss to reprint. Still a bummer. But it's just one of those of like, you know, I could sit here for a whole stream and put in and I mean genuinely take this piece and make it pristine, but I just don't see what the point is when I can just change the print orientation so that nothing is printed at a complete 90-degree overhang, you know, or printed just off supports. It's gonna be a 14-hour print, and it's gonna take not as much filament as I would have thought. Just a couple grams, about 7 grams more than this normally did. I guess I could weigh it and actually find out, but it's not bad at all. A little worried about. Alright, I'll have to play with my slicer just a little bit, but that's a lot less support material even at that 45. As far as like support interaction points, just because there's so many vertical surfaces on this sculpt, all of these pipes when it's laid on its back end up being vertical. All these lips and things on everything ends up being vertical, and it's just a lot. So reliable print orientation if you're FDM printing this model, but I'm looking at angles this way for if this is flat, angles this way that are going to be just a lot better and a lot more reliable. So we'll run off another one of these. That might be ready. We'll probably be ready in time for tomorrow night's stream, so we might continue on this guy tomorrow, and we might just say skip the Space Marines this week, and we'll get back to painting up my Marines next week. We got his torso together. We got his head put together. Ooh, let's decide on where that little piece goes. Not square on. Square on's a little boring. I think off to his left is the right answer, because he's a little offset, biased that way anyway. I'll give him a little bit more substance to be that way. So we'll just another drop of our super glue. Plop him down. Again, nothing has to be square, nothing has to be perfect. We're orcs. All of our crap is masterfully made. Well, crap. Oh, that's annoying. Just a tiny little piece right in the crook of that missile. I almost missed that. Almost missed that. Yeah, but like, how many barrels of guns does this guy have? He has missiles up top. He has 2 here, 1 in his shoulder. He's got a 5-barrel there. He's got a 2-barrel. Jesus, just like. Let's see if I can't hold him enough in situ that we can get an image of him for you. Look at this monstrous boy. Look at this absolute unit. He looks great. Okay, putting his arms on, he doesn't look quite so out of proportion as he does when he doesn't have arms or when he just has one. I am genuinely looking forward to the day. Oh, his face fell on the floor. I am genuinely looking to the day where I can roll up at my gaming shop and just go, hey, what happens if the printer runs out of filament mid-print? I have a very nice printer right now, and I have a Bamboo Labs P1S. Has filament run out, actually has really good print recovery off of filament run out. I could get an AMS, which is their automatic material system upgrade. which would basically mean I could have any combination of 4 spools on tap, usable for any print at any time in whatever context. So this is one where if you have an AMS, you can queue it up to, you know, in case of filament run out, just switch to the next line down and just have all the same filament in. And you might have a bit of an artifact. The cup, what happened on this? I printed something where, oh, I was printing my painting handles. Let me find, I know I have one. Yeah, here we go. So, I was painting for last week, my little clamps for my painting handles, and ran out of this very nice matte black filament, and the print just paused, and I loaded in new filament, and there is the slightest bit of under extrusion for just that one layer. And it's not even across the whole model. It's really just this is when I get happy, because I have a nice printer. I can't even find the seam on this model. On this print, so it's probably just like it's from like this corner down to about the middle here that is under extruded, but it just pauses and you know, goes filament run out. Would you like to cancel print? And you know, please load filament. So yeah, again, this is a very nice filament printer. Not top of the line, but is up there. All the 3D printing you'll see on my channel is filament printing. I do not have an SLA printer. I do not have the facility to have an SLA set up. That is an eventuality that I would like, because in all honesty, I can't do infantry models very well right now. And I have one of the models I'm going to use for a brigand is such a great model, but I don't think my machine's going to like it very much. So I'm talking to a buddy of mine at my local gaming store who has a resin printer. And I think he and I are going to do a bit of a print swap. I'll print something for him, he'll print me some pieces. And probably some grots. Hope the stream was just okay. It gave me a big old loading wheel of doom. Yeah, I like infantry, but I can't do a resin print yet. And I mean, this is the balance I've kind of struck. Is I genuinely really like the GW aesthetics. I like Games Workshop's models. They're also the progenitor and the creator of the game I enjoy, so there is a part of me that's like, I should give some of my hobby money to them to support them. This is fine. Their prices are exorbitant. Their prices are fairly ridiculous a good portion of the time. So even before I got this printer, I had an old beat up Ender 3 Pro from like 2018 that had been ignored and abused and was not printing super well. But here you go. Here's the comparison. Okay, we're gonna look at some Custodes for a second. Sorry, my mech lord, I need you to give me some space. So these are my 2 tanks I have for my Custodian's army right now. I have a Caladius Grav tank proxy and I have a Land Raider proxy. This model was done on my Ender 3. You can very obviously see a split line here, and in person you can still see some layer lines and some uneven layers, but mostly like here and a few on these portions of the sides here, and then like the support interface layers on some parts are quite egregious. But for the most part, I've been able to, I cleaned it up pretty well. And this model has 2 or 3 layers of fill primer and, you know, quick, light, I'm impatient, sanding. Yeah. Blade guard are overpriced. I think blade guard should come in a box of 6. I think a lot of things should come in boxes of 6, not boxes of 3. That's a rant for another day. But this was done on what is now a 3D printer valued at like $50. And it's perfectly fine. I've never had anyone complain about it during a game. And I've even had people be shocked of like, oh, that's filament printed? And that's this one. This is a recent print that is might be the absolute most recent addition to my Custodes army. This Land Raider was done less than or maybe about a month ago on my new printer, and there's a slight defect here. These last cannons were a pain to clean up, and so like this one has a cable that I broke. This one still has support material munged up in there that I ran out of patience to deal with. Okay, there's a slight defect there in that door. The body for some reason didn't print perfectly flat, so it's a little rough. Okay, this track had a momentary failure, so there it's a little bit there. There's a little bit of support material clinging on in the back here. But that, for the most part, and the fact that it's just zenithal primed right now, so some places you're going to get more obvious layer lines on these domes and whatnot are showing up. But for the most part, it's really hard to tell. And this Land Raider doesn't have a single whiff of fill primer or sanding done to it. This just has good old, I've got like just a barely bit of a Pro Acryl primer on it, and then a titanium white zenithal undercoat, and that's it. So for vehicles, and again, all of my knights are printed. All of my knights are probably going to be printed. The exception is if someone gives me a colossal squig to use as a rampager. Or not a rampager. Yeah, a rampager. This is an exception because that model is hilarious and is a lot more organic shapes, which FDM printers can struggle with. But all of my knights are going to be 3D printed, and almost all of the vehicles for all of my armies are going to be printed. Because I don't see a reason not to. Okay, I cannot take them to a GW store. I know of one in my area, and I don't plan on going to play there because I really like the community at my more local spot. And there's a spot a little bit further away than the GW that hosts tournaments and stuff. I don't care. I will give GW my money. I do. I love the new Krieg box, so I've got one copy of that right now. And again, if y'all get me that members program and I get my programs going, I will probably buy several more. I love the space, especially the newer Space Marine sculpts. They look so good. The Custodes sculpts are just chef's kiss. This tank is almost $200 to get the official one. Yeah, like, oh my, yeah, the Deathwing box. Great, amazing sculpts. This is where I can save myself money. Hobbying. And it's in more than just this, because like my light setup that also holds my camera now is 3D printed. The base, you know, I do a lot of my bases, and I even on my GW models I'll do custom bits that are printed. I'll do basing materials. It's letting me do trades with people who do have SLA printers to do that. I 3D print things around my apartment to fix little problems I find. Yeah, like, geez, I'm like looking at my apartment and I'm finding very little, but like, my entire airbrush support system is 3D printed. The painting handles I use are 3D printed. This is like just hobby stuff. I use it a lot. My printer's almost always running, and it's fun. And it is an additional hobby. It is not, and I mean, the Bamboo Labs machines are great. I've had to do very little maintenance on mine, and I've had it for 4 or 5 months now. And like the reason I made that switch, because I knew I wanted to keep the capability, but I wanted to be able to do less maintenance on my printer. So I made the upgrade, and definitely the biggest hobby expenditure I've ever done, like single purchase, for any hobby. You know, because I got into 3D printing for nerfing. If you go and look at my old videos on the channel, there's a bunch of amazing 3D printed blasters that I don't think I did justice because my capabilities as a printer weren't high enough. There's a couple that at some point in time I will probably revisit the newest versions of and build, because I do still like, I really like the 3D printing and the modding community around nerfing a lot. I just had to step away from that hobby for time reasons. Not that there's no drama or anything like that to be found. So yeah, I think 3D printing is a lovely tool. I think don't be scared of plastic printing, of FDM printing. Understand its limitations. Understand what you can and can't do, understand what the barriers of entry are if you're looking into it. I think, hold on, I'm going to turn off my face. I think Bamboo Labs is an absolutely lovely company that is doing a lot of really good things for hobbyist 3D printers. I think in the past year, since I got my machine, they've dropped 2 budget printers on a budget line. I think the mini is like $300. The more full scale bed slinger model is $400, I think. This is not bad for a 3D printer, and filament's not too expensive. There's a lot of good support for that company. This company's doing a lot of things. Elegoo's doing a lot of things. Frozen, I know, is doing good printers. Creality does still make good printers. I'm a little jaded on them because of how every year there's a new micro upgrade to an Ender 3 that just like shifts the models down the line for forever and ever and ever. It's a business model. It works for them. They make just fine printers, but they're just fine. Wow, rant about 3D printing. I'm gonna have to call that done because my voice is getting tired, and it's 8:15, and I have to get on to other things. I have to go cook some burritos. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please, again, like and subscribe. Please share my content with your friends. That is, if I know in this stream we talked about a lot of things. We talked about merch. We talked about a Discord. We talked about a bunch of stuff that I genuinely really want to do with the channel, do for the channel. I need your help. Share my stuff around. I know I do the cheeky thing and tell you all to leave my content running in the background. This helps a little. Just sharing and getting a new set of eyes on my content helps even more. So thank you all so much for your help. Thank you all for being here. We're gonna be live again tomorrow. Depending on what I feel like, we're either gonna be working on the oh shoot, what did she name him? The Philosophizer of Dodaka. We're either gonna be working on the Philosophizer, or, which is my Knight Tyrant model that we were working on today, or we're gonna be painting some Space Marines, or maybe a Custodian. I have one Aloris Custodian who's not painted, and it kind of bothers me, so maybe we'll paint him tomorrow. I don't know. The point being, I don't really know what we're going to do tomorrow. It'll be something hobby related. Maybe I'll speculate on the balanced data slate. Probably going to look at that on Thursday. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to stop rambling. Hope you all enjoy your night. Thank you so much. I'll see you all next time.